Hey everybody, it's Jason again. It's been quite a while since I've actually done a video. I've been meaning to, it's just with my dad passing and busy few months that I've had, just hadn't gotten around to it. But I had a little bit of time today, so I figured why not make a quick video. I do have some video from an auction I went to recently a few weeks ago. The video is probably not the greatest because it's very awkward for me to hold up a phone during those things and not feel weird about it. But so I had some video from that. I got some cool items from that auction, which was in South Carolina. And my wife and I just recently went to Raleigh to celebrate our anniversary, Raleigh, North Carolina, and we stopped through Fayetteville, North Carolina, on the way to some antique shops, and I got some really cool pieces there. Hopefully I'm going to go back soon to Fayetteville to visit some people I know that have stores, kind of appointment only stores. So stay tuned for that. Also went to Florence, which is where I'm from, and found some cool items in an antique shop there. Had some private purchases, but anyway, I'm going to show the clips from the auction now, and I'll show what I got from that auction, which is very interesting. Then we'll kind of go through everything else here in the man cave. Try the auction today. Let's see. All right, so I just kind of wanted to show a little of what you are probably going to find at most auctions. A lot of glassware. And there's a lot of people into uranium glass and stuff, but you have to look at the pictures for auction sites and things and spot out stuff you want. But anyway, I wanted to really show this portion to show this Trenchard ashtray that's coming up that I did not get. So there were these gentlemen that were hovering around the military stuff, and it kind of irks me when people kind of pretend like they have bought it before they've bought it, like they're claiming it, they've got their hands on it and they're just holding on to it before the auction even starts or what's going on. So some of the stuff I bid just kind of out of spite, to be honest with you. And unfortunately that Trenchard ashtray, I didn't realize it wasn't the gentleman that were bidding on it. It was a lady behind me for her husband. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have quite bid it up. This is a bucket they had labeled as Indian bones. So I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but I did not bid on them or want them. In this case, had some things in it military-wise, but by the time this auction actually started, and my stepdad had been out there for a couple of hours, it was very, very hot. I just didn't feel like staying around to try to bid on that when I wasn't super interested in some of it. But yeah, to the lady who bid on those ashtrays, if you are watching for some reason, then I do apologize. I did not realize it was you. You would have gotten it for a lot cheaper. Man, I love an auction. The sound of it, everything, what it is, but love it. Alright, so here's what I picked up at that auction. This is just kind of a parts piece relic, kind of musket. And apparently it's been cut down, it looks like, on the end here for some reason, but you know, it's missing pretty much everything that would make it actually fire, but it was just neat. And I do like wall hangers. For me, it doesn't have to be a perfect example of something. I actually like it to look old when it's hanging up and not brand new, but so that's why I picked that one up. I can't remember what I picked it up for. I think it was, I don't know, 60 bucks, or maybe it might have been 70 or something, but also picked up this mortar round. This is actually one of the pictures I saw on their ad for the auction. Is why I went. I think I paid $200 for that, I believe. This they had it advertised as a cavalry sword for Germany, but I believe it's a police sword. but I still haven't really researched it at all yet. It is a short sword and it's very broad, but one thing I didn't see when I was there, because it was dark in that room, was I really didn't pay attention enough to notice that there had been some spray paint or something painted on one side of it. So I'm going to have to work on trying to figure out how to get that off, but still a great piece. Again, I'm really going to have to check back somehow, but it might have been 200 or close to 200 for that sword. And this French bayonet. And again, that one may have been around the $80 mark. So not bad pickups, and I had a good day with my stepdad. He enjoys going to auctions and stuff too, and flea markets. He just looks for different things. He doesn't collect. He likes to buy tools and stuff like that. But so that was pretty neat. And speaking of him and what he buys for me and stuff at flea markets, he recently just gave this shell. He just buys whenever he sees shells and stuff. He'll try to get them for a good deal and buy them for me. And I've had, of course, numerous shells, but this one is dated 1918. And I can't quite make out the size. Maybe right there. But it is really neat. I'll have to do some more research. I'll do like researching, so. Again, I'm kind of just taking a look around because I've put a lot of stuff up. Some things that I got on that trip I was talking about too, through Fayetteville, were some of these. This little jar full of Doug musket balls and different rounds and stuff. One of the coolest pieces my wife actually saw at a different booth in that same store was this oil lamp, made to look like an artillery round. Spanish-American War type thing. Those cross cannons that hold it up are pretty cool. See if I don't drop it and break it, but with a great Remember the Maine on this side. Really neat piece. I do love anything Spanish-American War. It's kind of where I'm leaning towards with most of my collecting, because it's, a bit more hard to find as opposed to the World War II stuff. And this belt and buckle came from the same, or different antique shop, and I think it was like $10. And that's from a military academy. I'm not quite sure the exact age of it, but the belt's definitely older. Again, I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm going to kind of scan around a little bit, see if there's things that pop out to me that I haven't shown. I don't remember if I've shown this. This is a bit older. I've had for a little while, but a 45 star flag. I love the American flags. I'm trying to collect as many variations as I can. I know I haven't shown this, I don't believe. I haven't decided if I'm going to make it back into a lamp or what, but just a shell that was a lamp. Still got the cord running through it, but with some Japanese writing on it. Or, I think it's Japanese. I haven't quite decided what to do with that. Again, I'm not quite sure what I've shown, what I haven't. We'll do a scan around. I have picked up quite a few more swords, but I'll wait to see which ones I haven't shown before I bore y'all with showing them, repeating what I'm showing. But this is really cool. My father was a state trooper here in South Carolina, and my uncle also retired. And my uncle actually gave me one of his uniforms, which is really neat. I'll make a display for that for my uncle. It's my uncle's, not my father's, but I don't think my father had any uniforms left. But This was a pickup. I was a gunner for a little while when I was in. This is a metal model of an M2 with the tripod base, which is that's pretty neat. I thought about getting rid of it and selling it, but it's a really nice display piece. I picked up these from a friend who owns an antique shop. Just little relic pieces, and you can never tell if they're actually from Normandy or anything like that, but they just look really neat. I have picked up quite a few helmets. Some fire helmets. These are the Swiss helmet. I've had this one. I think I've shown it. This chromed out one. The Swiss. This is a really cool French. It's a bit newer than the Swiss ones I have, I believe. And I picked up another ACH. What is Belgian, I believe, fire or police. And my stepfather found this at his flea market, which is really neat. This aviation helmet, Vietnam era, with some personalized stuff on it. And this is all stuff that's going to be displayed somehow, some way. I just haven't figured it out yet. And I'm sure I've had more stuff that I bought or picked up, but these came from that trip. So this one came from an antique shop, and I think it was $40. This one, so it's kind of a rough liner in it. I think it's $45 maybe, which is weird because where the booth this came out of had some M1s that were M1 helmets that were, I thought overpriced, so I wasn't even going to pick this one up. But I mean, $45 is a really good price on that. And this one doesn't have a liner in it, and it was $40. This I've had my eye on for a while at one of the antique malls in Florence, South Carolina, but a really neat bicorn naval cap, which again I haven't researched, but I'm guessing early 1900s. Well, if anybody knows, let me know. But I'm going to do some research and try to figure it out. So that's going to definitely be placed somewhere here in the collection. And also, I picked up I met a guy at the flea market, and he had sold some Civil War ladders as I was standing there. And I told him that he probably sold them like way too cheap. I think he sold $20 for like a box of Civil War letters. And he appreciated the honesty, so I gave him my card with my number on it and name, and I told him if he has questions, just let me know. But he contacted me with this photo. It's pretty large, what, like 10 by 8 or larger. And I really wanted this one because of the sword, so I can put it near the sword collection. But he also had this one, which is smaller. It's like a cabinet card. But I really wanted this one because of the 82nd Division patch there. So, like I say, we're not too far. 2 hours or so from Fort Bragg. So it's a neat piece. It's pretty, not quite local to me, but still, I remember Fort Bragg from being a kid and stuff. And we did some training at Fort Bragg when I was in. I have added a few photos behind here, but and I'm sure. Oh yeah, one of the antique shops had this. You can see the musket ball in the wood there. I guess I've been dug that way. Metal detecting. And a lot of these had information on where they were dug at. The guy had very good documentation on his pieces, so I do have the information on those. I just don't have it on top of my head to tell you. And this, nothing too special, but a little German ID booklet. Let me get to the page for the guys. This came from a fella's father's box of stuff. That. And I did just recently pick this up. I know a fellow who runs a estate sale auctions, and he can't sell anything with that on it. So he'll normally call me, and I do have a friend that collects it, but my friend didn't get back to me with this one. So I just offered him. I think I gave him, I think it was 120. I figured no matter what, 120 bucks. Wasn't a bad deal on me, and he just tries to sell them to get the money to the people who are, he's doing the estate sale for, but you can't take the time to go to a show or go anywhere. So that was a neat pick up. I really think that's about it. Sorry, this video is a bit longer, but I'll try to do better about keeping up with things. Like I said, there's a lot of things I've purchased that I've probably forgotten, haven't done a video on, probably in these cases somewhere, but also have totes with stuff that I haven't even really gone through yet. So when I do, I'll try to do some shorter videos for you guys, but till then, thanks for watching.